Hello dear students, welcome to this program. Today we are discussing the topic titled Pragmatism, its contribution. Before discussing pragmatism in detail, let us first know its objectives. To understand what pragmatism is, to know the theme of pragmatic thought, to get familiar with different forms of pragmatism, to understand the basic tenets of pragmatism as a school of thought, to study the impact of pragmatism on education. Now, let us start pragmatism, its contribution. Pragmatism as a school of thought. Pragmatism is a philosophical doctrine developed by the American philosophers, according to which the test of the truth is a proposition in its practical utility. The purpose of thought is to guide action, and the effect of an idea is more important than its origin. Pragmatism was the first independently developed American philosophy. Pragmatism was the dominant approach to philosophy in the United States during the first quarter of the 20th century. It opposes speculation that have no practical utility. The term pragmatism has been derived from a Greek word pragma, which means work, practice, action or activity. The pragmatist is concerned with consequences, facts and fruits. Pragmatism is a philosophy of hypotheses which may be proved or disproved. It is a philosophy which distinguishes the practical and empirical life from the life of thought. By emphasizing the instrumental character of truth, it is called instrumentalism, and by stressing experience and experimentation, it is called experimentalism. It is a humanistic philosophy, as it maintains that man creates his own values in the course of activity, and that values are not fixed but emerge from human experience. Professor Sidney Hook calls it scientific humanism, as it tells all social institutions by the quality of personal experience and by the opportunities which the individual have to express, to dissent or to challenge any or all dogmas. Pragmatism believes in finishing the book here, solving the problems now, making the social context immediately and striking the business deal at once. The pragmatists do not believe in abstractions, in sufficiency, verbal solutions, fixed principles, closed systems and pretended absolutes and origins. They want concreteness, advocacy, facts and actions. Their slogan is learn from experiences and pin faith to belief and action that promise to lead to sensible result. Experience is the key word in pragmatism. To pragmatist, mind is a dynamic process which happens to function within a man when he is intended upon constructive action upon the objects around him, that is, when such objects present problems which demand reflection. Pragmatists do not believe in fixed, eternal and absolute values of life to be followed in all times, places and circumstances. They also do not uphold any predetermined philosophy of life. To them, only those ideals and values are true which result in some utility to mankind in a certain set of circumstances, places and times. Let us now try to understand different forms of pragmatism one by one in detail. Humanistic pragmatism. This form believes in the welfare of humanity. It has the conviction that only those things and activities are true which are useful to man. Truth is the index of human satisfaction. Humanistic pragmatists believe whatever fulfills my purpose, satisfies my desire, develops my life is true. Experimental pragmatism. This viewpoint accepts a thing as true which can be experimented upon in the laboratory. In the broader form, pragmatists want to evaluate truthfulness on the basis of experience. Hence, according to experimental pragmatists, whatever can be experimentally verified, it is true, or what works is true. Biological pragmatism. This form of pragmatism considers human being a psychophysical person. Due to nervous system, he is different from other creatures. According to this form, the ultimate aim of all knowledge is harmony of man with the environment. The chief protagonist of this ideology was John Dewey, who proclaimed, by this type of pragmatism, test is found in the function of thought, in adapting the physical human organism to his environment. The important and basic assumptions of this school of philosophy are as follows. Pragmatists do not believe in predetermined truths. According to them, truth always changes according to time, place and situation. They also believe that a thing which is true to an individual at a specific time, place and situation need not be true to others or to anyone else at some other place or time. Pragmatism holds that man is a social being. He is born in society and all his developments takes place in and through society. Hence, pragmatists uphold social attitudes and values. Pragmatism centers around the world of experiences. Experience is center here. Everything is tested on the touchstone of experience. According to pragmatism, experience is a great teacher. Pragmatism believes that man is primarily a biological and social animal, lives from moment to moment, does not plan for life. Immediate problems are more important and looks towards immediate future. Past for them is dead and gone. Tomorrow would come with its own problems and with their own solutions. Wish to produce things rather than to sit, think and understand. Human beings learn by doing. Pragmatists believe in change. Change is the law of nature. The world is in a state of constant flux. The pragmatists believe in change instead of permanence. Old orders should change. New things should take its place. The impact of pragmatism on education can be understood under the following headings. Education is accumulation of experience, organization, construction and reconstruction of experiences. It should prepare the child to meet the challenges of the society which is rapidly changing. It should enable the child to learn new techniques to cope with the problematic world. Pragmatism is a work philosophy. Activity lies at the center of all educative process. The basis of all teaching is activity of the child. Pragmatism is a practical philosophy, aims at developing efficiency of the pupil through experience and activities. Education should enable the child to solve his daily problems. According to pragmatism, education is a social necessity. Education should foster physical, social, intellectual, moral and aesthetic developments of the child. Pragmatism on aims of education. Education for education's sake is not at all the aim of education according to pragmatism. Education for them has a functional value, helping the children to fulfill their biological and social needs. Pragmatists are opposed to any kind of fixed and static aims of education. They believe that values of life are not fixed, so we cannot fix the aims of education forever. The aim of education is development of human personality in terms of his physical, intellectual, social and moral aspects. The ultimate aim of pragmatic education is growth. This growth takes place through mutual interactions and changing social order. The growth must be towards positive side and not towards negative side. One of the aim of education according to pragmatism is the creation of new values to meet the needs of the individual and the new social demands. Values are created by activity and experience. Pragmatism wants to develop social efficiency in the child through education. The function of education is to habituate an individual to social control, to develop a willingness to subordinate his natural urges to social rules. Pragmatism believes that education should enable the human being to be fairly adjusted in his existent environment. Pragmatism believes that the individual should be enabled to develop his capacities to control the environment. Aims at development of scientific attitude. Believes in utilitarian aims. Pragmatism on curriculum. Pragmatists do not believe in any kind of fixed curriculum. Curriculum should be broad-based, diversified and flexible. For them, curriculum includes all experiences which the child receives in the classroom, in the playground, in the laboratory, in fact, in every such place where he is educationally enriched. Curriculum should not be divorced from the needs of the pupil. Pragmatists favor an educational curriculum which permits the educand to develop all the qualities and obtain all knowledge which may help him in creation of values, gaining social efficiency and solving the problems of life. Instead of dividing knowledge into various subjects of instruction, the pragmatists prefer subjects like language, physical training, geography, history, agriculture, home science, mathematics, vocational and technical education. Pragmatism advocates teaching through actual experience rather than rote learning. Curriculum is framed according to following principles. Principle of flexibility and dynamics. Principle of utility. Principle of activity and experience. Principle of integration. Principle of child's needs. Curriculum should solve problems of life. Pragmatists lay emphasis on integrated knowledge. Pragmatism on methods of teaching. Traditional and customary teaching is not preferred by pragmatism. The pragmatic methods of teaching are psychosocially based. Both individual and his social requirements are given due consideration. Pragmatism has given rise to different activity-centered and experimental teaching methods. These activities are organized for the child in such a way that he is able to solve his own problems. No fixed methods. Methods adopted must be dynamic and changeable. Methods should be natural, purposeful and highly motivating. Learning occurs as a result of movement and activity. Against bookish and passive learning. The focus of pragmatic methods of teaching is on the child in society and his activity rather than the books, the teacher, the subject. The teacher must be experimental in his dealings and should not be the follower of established principles and fixed methods. Pragmatist lays emphasis on the following methods: learning by doing, project method, trial and error method and experimental method. Pragmatism on discipline. Pragmatism would like to give a lot of freedom to children. They are only anxious that it should not be mistaken for license. Pragmatism condemns enforced discipline. Discipline should be based on the child's interests, activities and sense of responsibility. Pragmatists are against strict discipline. Pragmatist advocates social discipline and social consciousness. Pragmatists believe that discipline comes through purposive and cooperative activities. According to Dewey, it is the mental attitude which makes play a play and work a work. Schools should provide situation and experience for inner and self-discipline. There should be a positive relationship between the teacher and the taught. Freedom is an important element in the pragmatic concept of discipline, for it is assumed that the aim of education is to generate democratic qualities in the educand. Pragmatism and teacher. Pragmatists assign a very important yet difficult role to teacher. His role is to make people think and act for themselves. They believe that teacher is not a dictator but only a director. Pragmatists believe the teacher to be a guide, a counselor who educates the child in self-discipline and active participation. In a pragmatic system of education, a teacher occupies a central position. He has to be active, alert and resourceful. He must be trained, efficient and a man of foresight. He has to create learning situations for the child. Teacher is a friend and helper. He is a stage setter. A teacher has to assist the child when he is in difficulty or when he needs his help. Teacher is a leader of group activities. According to pragmatism, a teacher should be an embodiment of knowledge. He should be intelligent, efficient and practical. In conclusion, we can say that pragmatism wants to develop such a dynamic, flexible and adaptable mind which is always resourceful and enterprising and is able to create new values for an unknown future. In this way, this ideology has given a new direction and a new purpose to all educational activities and programs. That's all for today's topic. Thank you and goodbye.